Sif's blood. Barely survived that encounter. I'll bring you a new transmission. Vode An.
Hello everyone, welcome back to Vode An. We're on episode 19. Today we're reviewing Boba Fett Hunted by Elizabeth Hand. This is the fourth book in the Boba Fett Young Adult series. And it was an interesting one. But before we give our thoughts, Tidus is going to give us a brief summary of the plot, and then we'll move on to our thoughts.
All right. So, Boba Fett Hunted, it comes off like, the heels of where we were at last time, and the little magical 8-ball thing Boba has in the book.
Mm-hmm.
It says that, if you want to have power, you have to find Jabba, or if you want to have knowledge, you have to find Jabba. So, he goes to Tatooine, he parks in Mos Espa, he poses as Jango Fett, and that's like how he gets clearance there. And as he meets Jabba basically pits him in a immediate life or death situation. Like, if you guess who will win this race, this pod race right now, then I'll let you live. But if you guess incorrectly who wins, then I kill you. And Boba, instinctively thinking that, Jabba holds all the keys here. So that means that the one who decides who wins the race is Jabba. It's not any one of the racers alone. If Jabba says fucking Gasgano wins, then Gasgano. If he says Ben Quadranaros, who died, I think, like if he wins, he wins. And it's just like the little lesson he's trying to embark on him, where it's like, no matter the outcomes, Jabba controls Tatooine. And what happens is that Boba gets sent to the palace because he's going to endure a second test. But unbeknownst to him, Dirge was already hired by Jabba. So it then becomes a battle where Jabba's pitting Dirge against Boba Fett. And Boba Fett, using one of the chefs across a sail barge as like help, he just had like a jetpack stored. He flees, and then he returns to Mos Espa, which earlier he had encountered these children who had stole his helmet. And they're being like enslaved by a Neimoidian with the Trade Federation to smuggle goods and contraband. And the book kind of ends with with him stopping the Neimoidian and him saving the kids. And then he kind of makes it on his next way.
Yep. So yeah, it was kind of like Boba Fett's first bounty, kind of. So, I guess I'll give my thoughts first. It was alright. There were entertaining parts of it. Like some of the fight scenes were okay, I guess. Boba Fett kicks Dirge's ass like twice in the book. And this little baby, this is a, young Boba Fett, and he's doesn't really know how to fight. He just happens to be Dirge twice. I just don't like that. And we were talking about this earlier, but the thing that stood out to me is Boba Fett as a character. And maybe the reason why I feel like this is because I watched TCW's version of Boba Fett first. So I'm willing to grant that I have maybe like a distorted view already. I won't say distorted, but I have a different idea of how I think Boba Fett should be in that era. And in this, he's kind, he's somewhat heroic, he's selfless. And I get he's a kid. But I don't know. I just feel like, he just lost his dad, and, he should be, absolutely enraged. Or at the very least focused on not necessarily trying to become a bounty hunter, but trying to get revenge on Mace Windu. That's just, again, like I said, maybe it's because I saw TCW's version first. Well, that's probably vast majority of it, but I just don't like it. And I get it's a kid's book, but I would say like maybe they shouldn't have done a kid's book to tell this kind of story. Maybe it should have been like a comic book or something. That way they could tell more like mature stories with it. With Boba Fett at this age, but I don't know. That's just my thoughts. I just don't like Boba Fett in these books. They're just not, I guess, how I feel he should be. I know Titus disagrees with that, and that's cool. Nothing wrong with that. But I will say what I liked it in this book. There's a whole bunch of references in here to all sorts of EU stuff. There's Solonians. There's Nogri. There's we were talking about this earlier. There's a whole bunch of food, like all kinds of food from all over the galaxy mentioned by name. Some of them I never recognized before. Like the worlds or whatever that the food was from. The Nemoidian. I mean, the Nemoidian sort of like child, the Epstein child ring that he had. I mean, it was cool. It seemed like something that would be on Tatooine. It's something the Separatists, well, a Nemoidian at least would do. So I was cool with that. Dirge was, I don't know. If it was me, I would not have had Dirge in this story because I don't think he really should be in a young Boba Fett story because he's not, Dirge was created to fight Jedi, not necessarily a young Boba Fett. Because realistically, Dirge would destroy young Boba Fett. I mean, it's pretty clear. At least that's what I think. But yeah, I mean, it was all right. I mean, I think see, like, there were parts of it I liked, but it was also like there's other things I just didn't like about it. I mean, it might be slightly better than the past 3 Boba Fett books. But it's still not very good in my opinion. But that's all I've got to say. Ken, do you want to talk about it?
Yeah, I don't think I have many thoughts. I mean, I had notes. Emphasis on had. They fucking were flubbed because fucking touching my phone when my fingers are wet just causes it to fucking spaz out. But fucking what I can remember from my notes, I had a lot of stuff about Dirge. I kind of like his characterization in this book. Like, sure, he's a mentally unstable psychopath, fucking caused by hundreds of years of bullshit, and like he's fought Sith, he's fought Jedi, he's fought all these wars. He's just like unhinged. But I mean, the fact that he's so petty in this fucking book, and he's the slightest thing like gets him mad and angers him, and like I don't know, it's entertaining to watch. It's entertaining to watch Dirge get gradually more pissed off. There's just something about it.
Oh, I was gonna bring that up in my thoughts when you're talking about Dirge.
Mm-hmm.
And this book is important because outside of Star Wars Databank, which kind of loosely, like in a bridge sense, recaps this is the first notion of like Dirge hating Mandalorians. Like that whole tidbit of lore comes from this book.
I did like that. I will say that.
Yeah, that was a cool thing.
Because in his original appearance in Republic, we only really know his torture and like what he suffered, but we don't ever get told in the comics what is Dirge's motivation.
Yeah,
as far as we really know, is just because the CIS pay him well.
This book kind of.
But here this book like elaborates like there's a profound motivation behind it. But one thing about it, and they do say it's rumor, so I don't really take 100% truth, but they say that Dirge wanted to be the clone template. And I think that's complete bullshit because it's like no one knew about like the Grand Army of the Republic. Like no one would want to just like volunteer for it because you wouldn't know about it.
Yeah.
Also continuity wise, granted, I'll give it a benefit of the doubt because this is technically first to establish the meaning of it. But the mythosaur on his armor in this book, it's established to be like a tally and marking of Mandalorians that he has killed. But in Prototype, a short story that they it's in Star Wars Visionaries later on, he wears a mythosaur because Dirge's master or his mentor that kind of like took him in was a Mandalorian. And for all of his hatred, like he is literally raised by a Mandalorian. Like he respects them despite his hate. He hates them in that story because they killed his master. Not so much because they tortured him as the book presents it here. But like I said, I get a benefit of doubt because this came first. But I don't know. Like I'm not gonna say I like his characterization a whole lot because Republic Comics, I think he just hits a little bit different. But I was only interjecting to tell you, Ken, that this is foundational for like his character because it reveals something new about him.
That's pretty neat. That's
I do agree with you, Titus, that the whole clone template thing with Dirge is ridiculous.
That is stupid.
Because I mean, like in Bounty Hunter, like the game, and I mean every other like prequel story that deals with like the Orders of the Clone Wars, Dirge is never brought up once, as far as I know.
But like,
So
here the thing, like for me, is even if this is like this canon, it fully like is like integrated into the story, it makes sense. Dirge, on principle, still wouldn't become the template because he hates Mandalorians. The clones are Mandalorian templates, so he would never do it on principle. So it still makes no sense.
The idea is more like instead of a clone army of Mandalorians, it'd be like an army of Dirges. Like
I see. It's like an army of Gendai. That makes more sense.
But it's just like the problem with it is that it's not like some program where like you can sign up and volunteer for. It was a very secret thing. Like no one knew about the creation of the Grand Army Republic outside like maybe 4 people.
The people that know, the harder it is. It fucks with Palpatine's plan.
But then again, I'm not trying to harp on it because like in the book they literally say Boba literally says that was rumor. He said he heard a rumor that Dirge wanted to be a template, but they never outright say, oh yeah, Dirge is like he gave us like his goddamn like Indeed profile to apply for the Grammar Republic.
Bro gave us like fucking Craigslist to do so.
Yeah, it's like a Craigslist ass. Yeah, looking for a template for the Grand Army Republic.
Here's my template. Dirge impression.
That's funny.
The other thing I wanted to take note of is that I think this is before he's officially hired by the CIS. This has to take place before Omitting.
Chronologically, this is like that. I was gonna bring it up too in my thoughts, but we are talking about Dirge here, so I'll just say it. Chronologically, this is Dirge's first appearance, at least in our Clone Wars reading, and publication-wise, it will be Omitting, and we won't be reading that until like a few episodes from now.
Yep.
And we're going to see him again soon in microseries.
We will. Old Dirge, buddy, old pal. Fighting clones on a land, old buddy, old pal.
But I do agree. This has to be like before he joins CIS because he's still working for Jabba and shit. So
yeah, he's on Tatooine with Jabba. Jabba the Hutt.
I will say on the cover, there's like an image of Dirge. That's kind of like the closest we're gonna get to a live action Dirge.
Who knows? They may put him in canon.
I mean, he is canon now.
He's canon. They might put him in live action, but I mean, it won't be the same Dirge.
God forbid that day ever happens.
God forbid they just start taking characters from the EU, put it in canon. Margie. Oh.
Anyway, I mean, it looks all right on the cover. I mean, it looks okay. I hope he's not that tall though. I hope he's way taller.
I hope he's like fucking 20 feet tall.
I don't know about 20 feet tall. No, like maybe like 8 or 9 foot tall. But anyway,
why not?
Do you have any more thoughts, Ken?
Yeah, like one more. Actually, 2 more actually. It was the chef. I found the chef guy really endearing. I forgot his name. It is in my notes again.
It was named Bago Barab.
Garba, something like that.
Bago Barab.
Bago Barab. That's his name.
Bago Barab. I kept calling him, like, in my head, I was mentally calling him Fat Gordon Ramsay throughout the book. But I just found him a really cute, endearing character. This is like Chef, like helps out. Boba Fett gives him his backpack or his jetpack. He's just a cool character. I hope he shows up again.
I'll tell you now, he doesn't show up again. But he's one of the few genuine characters that does help Boba Fett in the book without like having some secret agenda.
Yeah, that's the one thing that stuck out. Is this dude like actually has like the genuine kindness in his heart to help Boba Fett out. Like all the books before this, it's always some dickhead in it for money or like whatever, some hidden bullshit. Yeah, so, he's cool in that regard. He's a pure-hearted guy trying to help Boba Fett.
I think it's funny too that like he's the first character in the book to know he's a kid. Because like he's not really fooled by like just a really short Mandalorian, and he knows he's a kid. But the thing is that everyone in the book that finds out he's a child is like offended by it, and they think it's like some breaking of trust, and like he's like lying to them. Yeah. But like Bago Barab, he just kind of just like laughs at him and just hands him like a plate of food.
So here's some food, kid. Take a load off.
Eat up, eat up.
Eat up, boy. Eat up, kid. But Boba Fett's my last point. Is Boba Fett, kind of elaborating on what Lance was talking about, where there are two different versions of Boba, and that's kind of what I was thinking. It's like Luke Skywalker in canon, and they're two different characters. Like Boba Fett, at least in TCW, he's more vengeful. He's he's more of he's been groomed by bounty hunters to be a fucking ruthless asshole. This is kind of where he's forging, in this, he's forging his own path. He doesn't have, people don't really have influence over him. He gets duped, he gets, strung along sometimes, but he's not being, he's not having his hand held by, all these different bounty hunters who are, his mentor and whatnot. In TCW, Aura Singh's his mentor. I mean, she kind of is bereaved, but it's more of, an alliance of convenience in these books. It's not like she genuinely wants to help the kid, but she does give him, imparts knowledge. It's just Boba Fett, in these books, he turns out the way he does because of circumstance and, the fact that he's doing all this shit by himself. He turns out way differently. Whereas in Clone Wars, he has all these mentors. He has all these people. They feel like two different characters.
I just don't think it's really fair to... their stories are completely different, and plus you have to keep in mind, as I was saying to Lance earlier, is that this is paving way a new idea of what would Boba Fett be in this era. There's no source material for it to be in line with. There is no context for it to go off of. And we're being really serious. Attack of the Clones Boba Fett does not have enough depth or character to really go off of. And if you want to say him being vengeful for Mace Windu, I hate to tell you, but TCW got that idea from literally the final book in the series, because Boba Fett, he goes full Nelson and he arms up, he goes a Coruscant, and he tries taking out Mace Windu. So
not the last book, interesting.
Yeah, so it's TCW loosely adapted literally a plot of this book. These books that we've been reading are about the becoming of Boba Fett, from a kid that's lost to becoming a bounty hunter. That's the whole point. Mm-hmm. And we see this vengeance act played out at last. So that's the thing. I don't think it's a fair judgment. You just gotta take it for what it is.
Yeah, it's just sometimes it's just fun to think about, but this is more him just he's literally becoming the bounty hunter we know.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying, Tidus. I really do. I guess maybe, I mean, you made a good point. These are kids' books, and I guess maybe that's where the problem is for me. Maybe they shouldn't have been kids' books. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it should have been comic books.
I mean, maybe comics or an adult novel.
I see what you're saying. If they're kids' books, then they gotta make Boba Fett the main kid character.
Yeah, they have to make him likable.
Stylistically, he has to be relatable as a child.
Mm-hmm. He can't just be some vengeful.
He only really elevates from being a child in that last book of the series. That's really when he stops being a kid.
I get that, and that makes sense. Then at that point I would say, well, maybe this wasn't the best medium to tell the story. Because this is a pretty rough story, he lost his dad, and he's a bounty hunter, and I don't
Yeah.
know.
I
And
I mean,
I did enjoy those TCW episodes too with little young Boba. So I mean, maybe that's a
Those
lot
are
of it
cool.
too. But I don't know.
I think it's really just like the jumping off point is different
yeah.
because in TCW we really have no clue what was Boba's first instinct or reaction after Jango died.
That's
And
true.
as we know from these books, is that his first instinct was not to like, oh, let me get like a fucking cheap shot of Mace Windu, like Stone is bald headed, Stone is bald headed, like his first instinct is that how the hell am I gonna survive a war zone? I'm literally caught in the
Yeah.
crossfire of a war that just started and my dad's dead. How do I get the hell out of here? So Boba is just trying to follow his dad's words best he can, trying to make his way out of this. And once he's out the woods, then he gets his vengeance act on. Does that make sense?
That's what I was
Oh
thinking.
yeah, I mean that's pretty fair.
That's kind of my whole thought process. Is he has it in the back of his head somewhere, but he's trying to get through the woods first.
It's just that TCW it fast forwards that in between. Like we don't see Boba Fett, trying to survive or like what was his aftermath thought at Geonosis. We immediately cut to like I'm groomed by a bunch of older bounty hunters and I'm gonna take out this bald bastard. Like that's TCW Boba Fett.
That's kind of a problem with like TCW in general in terms of writing. That's a conversation for like a different time.
Well, I don't know. I think I don't know if I would want to see like Boba Fett like play out this same type of story in TCW. I think it is a little bit better that they fast forward it to the actual Clone Wars.
Yeah.
Because I think doing like a whole arc of like Kid Boba Fett, it might add something, but I think it would kind of like derail like say season 1 or season 2.
Yeah, it's kind of like a risk reward. It's like fans hate it, fans love it. It's like a dice roll. But it's just the fact that he's dropped in media res like into this whole situation, and we have no context. It's just a little jarring.
Well,
still good though. Still a good.
That's fair. That's a fair take, Tidus, for sure.
Are those your thoughts, Ken?
Yeah.
Well,
I'm done with my thoughts for the book.
I was gonna say, and the last thing I will say about Boba's character, and is that I was saying is also that him saving the kids. I don't think it's a complete reference to this, but I do think it speaks to how the EU writes Boba Fett because the EU doesn't treat Boba Fett as like some stone cold killer like all the time. It's more like that he is a hired killer. Like he's not ashamed of like what he does, but Boba Fett does have like a moral code. He has like a moral standing as to what he does. One of his earliest short stories, his earliest prose short story by Kevin J. Anderson, he literally destroys a spice ring because they're selling, drugs to kids.
Yeah.
Not because like they're profiting off it. Like he doesn't really give a shit about like, their criminal dealings. It's more so just the kids aspect. He just tortures all their supply and just kills them. And
it feels very mafia-esque.
And I think that's just kind of like emblematic of how the EU writes Boba. Like in all Boba's like solo comics, there's always like type of anti-hero edge to him. Where he's not like a strict villain, but he's not like a hero either. He's a killer, but he has a code.
He's
very
anti-hero.
Very different from canon Boba Fett. I mean, there's a comic where canon like Boba Fett like, beats the shit out of a fucking like literal child for information.
Yeah, like canon during the actual Empire era, they made Boba Fett more hardened, more of a killer.
Yeah, he's more of a psychopath.
But honestly, I don't know. It's just personally, I can't see Boba Fett as like some full blown like basically like without empathy or without morals like Bosk. I think Bosk is like the deep end of a bounty hunter, somewhat similar to Dirge. It's like those guys don't have moral compasses. They have no inhibitions. They have nothing to hold them back.
Dengar
Boba Fett has his life, his legacy, his dad's memory. Like there's a lot of stuff, even with like retroactive stuff. Boba Fett has a lot holding him over to keep him human. So I don't think he would go, Rambo and just like take out innocent people, just like willy nilly.
And I to add to that, I think even in the EU, he's more apt to be more human because he does have a wife and kids.
Yeah,
literally.
Or wife. Yeah, wife.
I have a wife. Bugs.
Anyway, inside joke. But anyway, he has a wife. He has a daughter. I mean, I guess that makes a little bit more sense. in canon, he don't got any of that crap.
That's why, and he has nothing. He has nothing to lose in canon.
Yeah, he's just a dude with a gun and like a bad attitude.
Yeah, then they made him more. Then they made him more empathetic in the book.
Yeah,
of
Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah, they tried pulling a fast one and making him like some sad sap character there, but it doesn't.
They tried.
Work.
It doesn't.
It's too late into the game to make him empathetic. Man.
It just doesn't work with that version of this character.
But like in that same earliest story with Boba, really told he gets thrown in jail because he killed the man that tried raping his wife. So it's like that from the get-go tells you like how seriously he takes his family and whatnot.
Yep.
Even after that point, it's like he literally self-exiled himself from his wife, from his daughter, to keep them safe from his line of work. So I don't know. I think Boba, despite being like a bounty hunter, he does have a strong sense of morality. And I don't want to bring up the Tales from Jabba's Palace stories like sex before marriage is immoral.
Oh yeah,
like that,
the infamous bullshit.
That adds to my point, but like that's low key like a meme saying at this point.
Yeah.
So,
well, Boba has a point. He has a point, dude.
He has a point.
He has a point. He has a point.
That adds to my meaning though. Like he doesn't believe in premarital sex. Like he has like some morals to sexual relationships.
Yeah.
So. But I didn't want to bring up
Boba Catholic Giga Chad, dude.
He probably is, dude.
Boba's a devout Catholic, dude.
I just didn't want to bring it up because I know it sounds funny.
It sounds funny, but I mean, yeah, it's
a meme,
point, though.
But I think the EU truly did that character justice. But about the book though, I think the book is okay. I like the third one more. What's called Maze of Deception. I like Maze of Deception more because I think the setting was more interesting. I thought it was kind of cool as Mos Espa, not Mos Eisley. That was a good change of pace, and they did a little bit more expand the world building. My one problem is that, and it's something you mentioned earlier too, Lance. I don't mind them having BIMs and stuff, but like when I saw that Nogri bodyguard, I kind of squinted my eyes. I was thinking like, well, how or why is there a Nogri bodyguard? Because it's literally a plot point in Heir to the Empire that, Nogri are not sent up roaming around the galaxy. Like, they didn't really have the technology to be spacefaring. Like, Vader, the Empire, is kind of what mobilized them in that way. I mean, you could rationalize it in universe, like maybe like someone in the Hutt system came by a Honogger and like, picked up one. But just like out of universe, it's a little bit weird how like, it feels like they're throwing a bunch of Thrawn trilogy aliens at you. And it's threw in Nogri, and it's kind of like I don't know about that one, Chief. I don't know if he's making the cut. Like
I see what you're saying.
The Salonian feels more in place than the
this
Nogri
is
does.
like this is pre-Empire Nogri. I mean, the Nogri like because didn't Vader like genocide them or something? I kind of forget.
Yes, he's like white.
That's the explanation in the Thrawn trilogy. In the general lore, they say that in the Clone Wars, there was a radioactive spill on Honogger that kind of destroyed their ecosystem. But even before that spill, Honogger is like a primitive world. It's a backwater. Like they don't have any real technology there. So that's kind of what I'm saying, where it's like, they never experienced true spacefaring tech until the Empire came. And I just think it's kind of just like a head scratcher. Like, how is this Nogri just like, a bouncer for like some random cantina in Mos Espa?
I don't think the Hutts would much care if Honogger, if their damn ecosystem falls, but I don't know. But maybe like, it was Boba that was like, hey, that's a Nogri. So maybe Boba just don't know his aliens. I don't know. I guess if that was true, then how would he know what a Nogri is?
That is true.
So I don't know. Because if they're like a primitive species, then he should know what they are.
Literally, they're a primitive race, and like Leia. I just bring up with Leia because like when she sees him on Kashyyyk, like she's just shocked because she doesn't know what the hell she's looking at, and that's when the book literally says like no one in the galaxy really knows a Nogri. They're so sparse, there's so few of them. Like no one really knows them.
Well, I guess Kid Boba Fett that grew up on isolated Camino is smarter than Leia, a former Imperial senator.
Thing. Thing.
It's true.
He probably is, man. them hollow books taught him well. All them books.
Yeah, yeah. Read all them books, dude. Read all them books.
That's
Young
funny.
Boba Fett mods Leia.
Leia didn't read enough.
Yeah, Leia didn't study enough at the Alderanian library, bro. She didn't study hard enough.
She had unlimited access to books from all across the galaxy. She don't know shit.
Nope. No, you don't know shit. But oh, that's quite famous.
Leia can't read.
I mean, we don't know, man. Apparently not. She was not versed in Nogri, but
But little Boba Fett was on Camino.
Little Boba was, dude. Little Boba from Camino.
Little Boba.
Was.
Yeah,
Little
Boba and his fucking boba juice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, drinking Boba.
Drinking
Literally.
boba.
But I was gonna say though about the Mos Espa stuff. I think the most interesting stuff in the book, and I kind of wish there was more to focus, not so much the Jabba stuff. I get the focus on Jabba because that's where the little book is trying to go. But I think the more interesting aspect of the book is that this Trade Federation dude just has like a whole ring of like child slaves of like various different worlds, different systems, just all in like one area. Like it's creepy. Like the fact that they all kind of like master, like kind of like as he's like a parental authoritative figure, like kind of like daddy and shit. It's like it's creepy. It's unnerving.
It's fucking weird.
Like that. I like that in a way because it's like that's some evil stuff that I would like to see in like a criminal underworld setting in Star Wars. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Oh yeah, absolutely. This shit was.
That's why I called him Epstein, dude.
I thought the fucking kids
literally.
were like under mind control.
Morty and
I'm like,
Epstein.
oh, they're just like so fucking brainwashed by this guy to like be subservient.
I
fear.
know what you're talking about, Kenneth. You're talking about the little hand probes they had. I think
Yeah.
creepier.
Yeah,
because it's like
creepy.
if they leave, if someone smuggles them off world, they'll just die because they get neurotoxin like released into their blood.
They'll fucking just get like they have like
Yeah.
bomb collars on their fucking like necks, basically.
It's like the ultimate leverage. It's like he controls them no matter where they go on Tatooine.
Mm-hmm.
And
Terrifying.
I think had this book been longer, or maybe had this book's direction been like focused elsewhere, I think that would have been a better villain than like running away from Dirge in the last 30 pages. I'll be real.
Yeah, the Mortian could have been a better villain than Dirge.
Because I mean, I think we don't get enough of in these early books. I will say this: besides the third one, we don't get enough of Boba Fett confronting the true depths of the criminal underworld. And I think a situation like this, where it's like he's confronting literally a child. I'm not gonna say child trafficking because it's not really what it is. But like a child slavery ring, I think that's some pretty dark, criminal activity that like, he should confront if he's going to be like a bounty hunter.
And especially it like adds like this whole arc of like he becomes this very like bounty hunter with a tight moral code. This could be foreshadowing for that.
Yeah. And I think a big part of it too is forgiveness. Because when you're introduced to Yo Gabba Gabba, the little girl,
tongue to her.
When you're introduced to the malnourished girl, Yo Gabba, whatever her name is, she steals from him, and it's like Boba is like mad at him or mad at her because it's like you stole my father's helmet, like it means everything to me. But the important part of the story is that like he forgives her enough to like save her life and save the lives of the kids that are being abused by like this manipulative guy, So I don't know, like I think that there's a better story in the midst of this. I think the Jabba stuff is not so good. And I was losing kind of concentration of the book reading the palace stuff, like when they were actually inside the palace and like Dirge was like going against Boba. I didn't know what the hell was happening. What's that, Lance? Oh, you said likewise.
Yeah, I mean, there's a scene in there where like I'm actually gonna see if I can find it. But like it's when Dirge is trying to attack Boba, and I'm like the description. I'm like, what the fuck is he doing?
That said something about him throwing like a squid at his face, like throwing a flaming squid at his
Yeah,
face.
I'm like, here it is. It says a few. Listen to this. I'm reading. It's a short paragraph. This is chapter 20, the first page. It says a few meters away was the spit. The squid dangled from it like a huge empty glove. Fingers of flame ran up and down its tentacles. Like, what the fuck does that even mean?
That's what I was literally thinking about. Like,
It's just so goofy.
He threw a flaming squid at him. And I'm just trying to figure out where was the squid? Where did the squid come from?
He pulled it out of his
Don't
fucking ass.
The only thing I can think of is Elizabeth Hand is using it as like an analogy for his real hand, because you know how Gendai are like.
Yeah, like they're like a cluster of dirge, but even then, it's like, why would Dirge's hand be on fucking fire? Like,
I know, like, and then it says the spit. I'm like, what was she trying to get here with that description? Like,
bro was onto something.
The hell out of me. I've read the Iliad and the Odyssey, and I'm like, what the hell does that mean?
What does it even mean, dude?
I really could not tell you. It was confusing to read, and it's like all their fights. I mean, I wouldn't really call it fighting, because all it is that he would slide under his legs and he would run. That's really just it.
Yeah. But I mean, she had to make it convenient so he can win. That's why I was like, why is Dirge even in this shit? He should not be in this. He's too powerful to be in this kind of story.
Dirge too OP. He needs a nerf.
I think the only reason they included Dirge in this story was that they could have like some connective tissue to the Clone Wars. Even though he's not working for the CIS just yet, I think they wanted to have like some type of connection to the Clone Wars in the story. But if I'm being honest, I think you still could have had connection to Clone Wars with the Trade Federation guy. I don't think you need you didn't need to have Dirge in the story. I do agree with that. You didn't need to have
literally. Or I mean, you could have used what other bounty hunter could they be like Clone Wars bounty hunter?
I mean, really, the most prominent one is Dirge. I mean, the only other one is like Aura Singh and Sidon Prax. They've already done Aura Singh. Sidon Prax is dead at this point, so it's like Dirge would be the only real one left. But they don't. I think if it was just the dude, Trade Federation dude, and Jabba, that'd be a better book. But no Dirge. Like leave out Dirge, because Dirge does not add anything to the story outside of establishing, I hate Mandalorians. Because X, Y, and Z, but that's about it.
Those filthy Mandalorians.
And I was reading like the timeline, like at the back of the book, and it says like this is 2 months into the war, and it's described as Dirge versus Boba Fett, as if they had like some epic fucking duel in here or something.
They did not have no epic duel. They did not have an epic duel.
Boba Fett just
I didn't know Tom and Jerry was like an epic battle. Didn't know.
Tom and Jerry's a more legendary like rivalry than this shit.
That's too funny, bro. Yeah, Dirge versus Boba Fett.
Dirge versus Boba Fett.
Or Boba Fett just runs away the whole time.
Literally.
He runs away. Just like Joseph Joestar.
These books are too funny.
I mean, I always have a fun time reading them. I mean, like they're like even like all Star Wars kid books to me, like even if it's not the best, I think it's like the Fed is like an easy read. I just find it enjoyable to kind of sit down and read.
Just a fun, relaxing ride.
Yeah, like it's like a relaxing book.
Yeah,
but I generally do think this like there's good writing in here. There's also an equal amount of bad writing, but I don't want to harp on it too much because it is a kid's book, and it's like they kind of have to do certain contrivances to make it like more convenient for Boba. Like even with the Dirge stuff, they only made Dirge lose and not beat Boba outright because Boba's the main character. They don't want the kids to get worried about Boba. Like, is he gonna win or is he gonna lose? I don't know. Yeah. But I think the only real what was it? I do like Jabba a little bit. I like how they articulate his power and his influence over Tatooine because to my knowledge there's not a whole lot of prose stories that kind of really go over like Jabba's sheer influence, like his sheer power. I remember in Shadows of the Empire, Jabba shows up in the book, but it's almost like he's undermining it, and he only really shows up to make Shizor look like a bigger fish, because Shizor is like,
Yeah.
well, you can rule your criminal empire, Jabba, but at the end of the day, I'm still hotter shit than you. I'm stinkier than you, Jabba. Don't you know?
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna say they didn't make Jabba a bitch in that book.
Literally, like they literally had Jabba calling him like Sir and Lord, like Lord Shizor. It's like it was bad, bro.
Wasn't there a scene where like they made
Perry.
Jabba speak basic?
Yeah, Jabba.
But they were like, "Don't speak Huttese around me. Like, speak basic."
He literally like he forces him to speak basic to him. Like Jabba speaks perfect basic to to Shizor. And
Steve Perry, biggest Shizor glazer.
You said what?
Steve Perry's the biggest Zizor glazer. Shizor.
I mean, the Filoni of his time. Actually, I'm joking.
That ain't even true. The Filoni of that time is Zahn.
He is not.
I was only joking because it's like, you know, he's wanking his OC. But
Steve Perry's a sexual deviant of his time.
But I was gonna say though about the whole basic thing, and that reminded me. There's a trope, and I won't call it a trope, but it's a trend I've noticed in these books where it's like either Terry Bison or Elizabeth Hand will have aliens that are in the movies never known for speaking basic, just speak perfect English, basic, just like in these books. Like a Gamorrean in this book speaks basic to Boba Fett. There is not a single other piece of Star Wars media I can think of where a Gamorrean speaks damn basic. And what's up?
I don't even remember that, to be honest. But yeah, that is
on the sailbar.
It's like stupid.
Like a Gamorrean speaks like complete perfect basic to Boba Fett on the sail barge. And then,
oh my gosh.
And then I think it was book 1. Yeah, it was book 1 of Terry Bison's series. And a Geonosian drone just speaks perfect basic to Boba Fett.
That's true, dude. That is true.
It's like
Geonosian speaking basic. That is so retarded.
It just that takes me out of it. Like it makes me kind of like just laugh at it. Like really, bro. Because I can't think of it. Like what would their accent even be? Like what would Geonosian's accent?
I don't even know, dude.
I am a Geonosian. I am a bug. I am a bug. I am a bug.
Tidus, I think you hit the nail on the head with that one, dude.
I am a bug.
That would be so fun. I'd love to see a Geonosian speak basic, dude.
I am going to make the cry of my.
I don't know if I have anything more to say about the book though. Like, because I think I talk about the negatives, positives. I don't know. I remember now. One thing I do not like about this book, I seriously don't like about this book, is that they can't consistently keep up what the hell is that box or book, whatever it is that Boba Fett has. Because in the first 3 books, it's like a dumbass like 8-ball, where it's like Boba Fett shakes it and it gives him like some dumbass like wise quote of the day.
Yeah.
And then in this book, it's suddenly like a hologram projection, like an AI Jango Fett, like Jango Fett GPT. They like give some like, GPT. They give some answers on like what to do, saying Jabba has power, son. You go to Jabba if you want knowledge, but remember, knowledge is power.
Jango Fett giggle AI.
What'd you say, Lance?
I said it's stupid. The whole thing. I don't mind like the idea of Jango leaving messages behind, but why not just do something normal, like just like give a holo projector device, and then like there's data disc that he just inserts into it.
That's actually something that later writers do. So in the Bounty Hunter's Code, they kind of like canonized that book, but they did it in a more grounded way, where they said that Jango handed Boba a Super Commando Codex, where it was everything he needed to know about the Mandalorian armor, about Death Watch, about his opposition. It was a written paper, like a paper compiled book of everything he needed to know. And I think I prefer that way more than this series where it's like they can't make up their mind. Is it Jango Fett Gemini or is it a damn 8-ball? You know?
Jango Fett Chat GDP.
I mean, it
Jango
literally is
Fett
a
Giggle
fucking,
Touch
like,
AI, whatever the
fucking
fuck.
like Grok Fett is literally what
Yeah,
it is,
Grok Fett.
Grok.
dude.
Grok Fett.
Yeah,
Grok Fett.
yeah, that's what it is, dude. Hey, Grok, how do I deal with Jabba the Hutt? Headass.
You
Knowledge is
will
power.
not. Knowledge is power. Jango Fett AI, like AI voice.
Head ass.
That's pretty good. Grok Fett.
Grok Fett.
Yeah, the ancient, like, the AI Jango Fett.
Then you'll have like Jango Fett that sounds like the fucking Star Wars YouTuber that makes like the AI fucking edits.
Kaminoans created it, dude.
Yeah, they
was like,
engineered Grok Fett.
Can I get an AI version of me? Like, sure, Django. Here's Grok Fett. Enjoy.
Grok Fett.
I want one AI unaltered.
Yeah, an unaltered AI.
1 million AI with 3 million more on the way.
Jaster's legacy, dude. There
Yeah,
you go.
Jaster's legacy.
Jaster GDP.
Yeah, Jaster GPT.
GPT.
Yeah, GDP head ass.
GDP. Economy.
Oh Lord.
Oh,
But
funny.
that's all I gotta say about the book. I think if I had to rate it out of 10, I get it about a 5.5 or a 6 out of 10.
I would say about a 5 for me.
I think this book gets like 6.5 Boba Fett helmets out of 10.
Yeah, I mean that Grok Fett. I don't know. That might
Grok.
Yeah,
Fett.
Grok Fett bumps up a little bit.
Skywalker Tales, but it's just AI Jango Fett.
head ass. Anyway, I think that's all we've got, my friends. But next episode, we're finally getting to some more, like, some actual Clone Wars novels.
Mm-hmm.
So we're reading. Don't we have a short story to read too?
Yeah, we are reading the next stories up is the short stories League of Spies and the Penguin Trade-Off.
Okay. And then we're
They're
also
both
read,
Aaron Alston stories. Or
they're gonna be great then.
Mm-hmm.
Be
we got
amazing.
those 2 short stories, and then we're also gonna read the first 10 chapters of Hard Contact. We're gonna split it up into 2 episodes. In fact, depending on the short stories, we might do 3. I don't know how long it's gonna take us to get through those short stories and talk about them, but especially if they're Aaron Alston. Either way, we're gonna spend a couple of episodes talking about Hard Contact. I think, we all kind of agree that we need to give this book some time, let it breathe. Because I mean, this is a major book in well, it's not the multimedia project, but in the Clone Wars. So, and it's also really popular, and I've never read it. I know Titus has. Ken, have you read it before?
Hard
Contact?
bits and pieces of the book.
Yeah, so I mean,
I
I've
don't
never
remember
read it. I know some of the. I mean, I know about the whole Jedi clone bullshit, but
Yeah.
I know the characters Jarman, Niner, Fixer, and Core. Was that the last one?
I believe so.
Omega Squad. I've played the game. Well, I never finished the damn thing, but so I know about Delta Squad. I don't really know about Omega Squad though, which is what the Republic Commando novels are about. So, but yeah, so we get that coming up. I'm pretty excited. Can't wait to start reading that. But yeah, so is there anything else you guys want to add?
No. I don't got anything.
I do want to add one thing. If I didn't say it last time, I think I did. I'm not quite sure, but I'll say it anyway. For our reading, we are going to include some of the HoloNet news and CIS Shadowfeed articles because they are, despite being articles, they are kind of integral to like Clone Wars lore, and some stuff that is like big in the community it originates from those articles, and you're not really going to get that anywhere else in like a prose story or a comic book. And I've been debating about doing the same thing for like the cut content of the Essential Guide to Warfare. But on second thought, I thought maybe not, because some of those cut content things, they weren't really set in the Clone Wars. Some of them were set in the Imperial era, but looking back on the Clone Wars. So I'll have to
Right.
go through those again and check which ones are in and which ones are not. Because if it's not really in the era, then I don't think there's much sense in talking about it. But that's just all I wanted to announce that like I think we should get to the HoloNet news and CIS shadow feed.
Okay, yeah. I'm looking at it now. You've added them on here, so it's pretty
Yep.
good. Oh yeah, these look awesome. I can't wait to read these.
Yeah.
I love the art in them already.
They're
But-
very important and they're not long reads. It's literally a single page.
Yep. So yeah, so that's what we've got coming up. I'm pretty excited. And then I mean, in a couple episodes we'll begin to the first micro series volume, so I can't wait to do that. But anyway, I mean, Titus, do you want to do like touch on them in a review? Some of those HoloNet news articles.
Yeah. I think we should bring those up in videos, but like bring them like talk about them quickly, like not spend too much time on them.
Alright.
I'm really just debating about the essential guide to warfare cut content because some of this stuff is important, but some of it, like I said, is not in the Clone Wars era. Like some of this, because there's one I think on what's his name, Pelion or not Pelion. What's his name? The Jesus, I don't want to say the what I was thinking because it was going to come out wrong.
Go ahead and say it. Go ahead.
Panaka, that's his name. Yes, there is a story with Panaka in there, but it's set in the Imperial era, but it has a Clone Wars subtext, and it's like Panaka as like a Grand Moff.
I would say do like the essential stuff.
Okay.
I think we like if it's not essential, let's not do it. But if it is, if you feel it's essential, then yeah, you can go ahead and add it.
Okay.
But yeah, Titus, he worked real hard on this timeline, and I mean we're still updating it and changing it and trying to make it as perfect as we can, or as he can. He's kind of the head honcho and all that. Because I don't know what the hell I'm doing with the Clone Wars. But yeah, that's all we've got. One last. I mean, you guys want to add anything else?
No.
Nope.
Nope.
All right, awesome. Thank you guys very much for watching. I'll see you guys next time with Republic Commando.
Oh yeah.